we talked about was some cuts, some things that we could actually do as a group to try to cut down the deficit spending and work together to solve these issues. One of it was suspend all TOSAs, eliminate some directors, increase class size in K3, and follow the contract. Those were some issues that we talked about. And what really ended up happening is in the TOSA position, the district added one more technology coach. So now we have another coach that's dealing with technology. Then on class size, we didn't increase class size at the elementary. We kept class size the same at 20 CSR. And now the district has 20-to-1 in all the elementary schools. And one thing about the CSR is that the district, because of things that I'll get to in a minute, they now are in the process of getting $1.6 million for the choice that they made for CSR. And that. Then we talked about eliminating a principal and close or eliminate a school. The next thing that the BTA Executive Board and BTA Rep Council talked about was suspending consulting fees, shift directors, coordinators, and TOSAs back in the classroom, start a freeze on district personnel, and evaluate the number of teachers that we have. Suspend all conferences and enforce and develop a stronger attendance policy. And again, I'm going to quote Paul, and he had a great slide about that, that talks specifically if we improve our attendance ratio, and really what he was talking about was a yield. And that really means just because students are enrolled in our district does not mean that they get paid or we get paid for them. They have to show up and they have to be there. And what Banning Teachers Association has done is we have put money associated with the attendance clause. And what we have done is each quarter we have given the student that has the perfect attendance in each school, we are giving them money. We did it the first quarter, and we have budgeted for all 4 quarters. So that way, we can make a statement for incentives, student incentives. And we were hoping that the district would follow suit in some type of incentive program. Gordon, is there anything you want to talk about the incentive program?
No, each of the individual schools has their own program.
Okay, so each of the individual schools has their own incentive, student attendance incentives. Next, we want to evaluate the student education department, the special education department, and suspend all technology upgrades. And that's some things that we thought would be successful. Now, the next 2 slides talks about administration, talks about being top heavy. And we had these slides before, and really what we're talking about is the longitudinal study. And I brought this slide really for 2 reasons. I'm trying to find my iPad. Is it around here?
Is this it right here?
Yeah. What I want to show the board, and Paul, if you want to jump in any time since I'm quoting you left and right, if you want to say anything, if you may. And by the way, the presentation that I'm giving, I do not want it one-sided, directed for me. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments about any of the slides that I'm doing, please interact, and I want that communication going. Is there anything you want to share about this?
Is my picture coming up again?
No, your picture's not going to come up again, Paul. Yes, this.
Yeah, the financial comparison report really takes all the data from the county school districts and puts it together, and then compares common areas. From attendance to revenues to
each
revenue limit.
Each group,
yeah,
and supplies, books, and the whole 9 yards, and breaks it up like that. And this right here is the other certificated salaries. And that really is management with a little bit of a psychologist and counselors squeezed in there as well. And what we're going to see a longitudinal study from 2005 all the way to the most current one, 2008 and 9. And Paul's office is working on the next comparison guide that should be out any day now, is what we're hoping. And then we'll see another trend that's more that's more current. But we'll see that the percentage of ADA at our district is 10.2, higher than any other district in Riverside County, and you'll see the growth higher than any other district in Riverside County. And that information was available 8 months ago when I presented. We made the copies of these, and we'll be more than happy to submit that to you if you need those copies, because I believe strictly in the data backing all my narratives. So that's what we talked about, and we did that prior. This is what the district has currently, and we're from 2006 to last year to this year. You're going to see that the district in 2006 and 7 had 20 administrators, principals, deans, coordinators. Last year they were up to 25, and currently they have 23. And you'll see that in your board packet as well. And on tab 7, the second to last page, you will be seeing the administrative costs and the number that they have. And when you see that, this number is going to be 31, and the current number that we have is 29. They also take into account confidential employees, and that's part of the process. And what this slide really is demonstrating is that when we were talking about fair share, when we were talking about making cuts, the district told the association that they are going to have to cut 3 administrative positions. That's what we were told. The situation is that after a year has gone by, they've only done 2. And we know the 2, we're not going to mention names, but that's what the situation is. And the situation is that we were told 3, and at the end of the day, their cuts were only 2. And we find that a little puzzling.
I do need to interject.
Go ahead, Dr. Kennedy, anytime.
Each unit had a fair share, and they could pay for their fair share with a combination of salary deductions and or personnel. And so the choice, whether it's 2 or 3, if it was 3, perhaps it was before the furlough days. So it was in conjunction with furlough days as well as positions to make up the fair share.
So to get your fair share as administration, how you came up with that was the 6 furlough days that the administration took plus the 2 employees.
Correct.
Thank you. We didn't know that, and I stand corrected, and I appreciate the transparency and informing us on that. Thank you, Dr. Kennedy.
We were trying to take fewer furlough days. However, we did need the positions that we were that are in place. And what you also need to know is that we're a personnel commission district, which adds 1 more administrator that other districts do not have, that we are required to have.
Right, and I didn't put that in any of the numbers. The Personnel Commission is separate and a separate entity because it's mandated, so I didn't put that in any of the numbers, and it's not in anything.
I believe he's one of the directors that's listed, though.
No.
I have to see your list.
Okay, absolutely. Absolutely.
And the last report that we got from the county says that we are under by a little over 1 administrator.
This is, I have 2, 4, 6, 7. What do I have there? 7. I have June, facilities.
Okay, June is not. She does not. She's
out of Measure R.
She only works 2 days a week.
Okay.
16
and
hours
she's out of Measure R. She's not charged against
Maintenance department.
So Debbie.
Nutrition.
She's not paid out of the general fund. That's self-sufficient, standalone, out of nutrition. Jean.
I guess the best way to handle this slide, because we've had an issue with this the last time I presented, and the best way to handle this, ladies and gentlemen of the board, is if we turn to tab 7, and if you may, on tab 7, I'll show it to you. Here you go, I'll give you mine for a second. If we turn to tab 7, tab 7, go all the way back to the end page, and then flip over 1 forward. You're going to see the management, supervisors, confidential salaries. And it will look like this. So there we go. Well, let me show you. Go to tab 7, and then go all the way until you get to tab 8, and then go 1 page back. And 1 page back on the left. Here you go, sir.
Page 24 of 20.